Mark, can you just tell us what's your message for the unions, given what's now been, or for the RMT specifically, now that the Rail Delivery Group have made this full and final offer?
Well, look, we think it's a very fair and reasonable offer. What I would hope the RMT do is, when they've considered it, is put it to their membership and allow them to make a decision on it. And I hope very much that they accept the offer. We can settle the dispute, and then we can have a much more positive story, and we can all focus getting more people back using trains, so that we've got a fantastic future for our rail network.
Yeah, but if the members vote not to accept it, and you've said it's a full and final offer, have you not tied your hands behind your back in terms of the mandate you give them?
Well, look, it is a fair offer, and I've always been clear all the way through this process. There isn't a bottomless pit of taxpayers' money. We think it's a fair offer. It's got reform as part of the deal, which is how you help fund the deal. The deal's got to be fair for the people that work on the railway. It's got to be fair for the passenger, but it's also got to be fair for the taxpayer. We think that's what we've landed. We think there've been constructive discussions between the trade unions and the employers, and we hope very much they can consider this offer and they can put it to their members and allow their members to make a decision.
I guess their members might be thinking, yeah, you said that this is the maximum amount of money we have and it's not a bottomless pit, and then you found a little 1% and came back with a better offer.
Well, look, I sat down with the trade unions. I tried to change, since I became Transport Secretary, I changed the tone of the discussions. I met all of the trade union leaders. What they asked me to do was to help facilitate those conversations between them and the employers. I did that. I made sure we got a better offer to the unions. I'm pleased that they've responded in a constructive way and sat down and had those conversations. The rail ministers helped to has facilitated those discussions, and now it's over to them, I hope, to consider this offer and put it to their members. And look, it's really important that we get a more attractive railway, get more passengers using it. You know, post-pandemic, we're still seeing a 20% reduction in revenue, and the only way you're going to have a bright future for the railway, for the people that work on it as well, is to get more people using it, and that means to get this dispute resolved.
Yeah, and has there been any change in terms of conditions, in terms of mandating driver-only trains? Do you know if that's been changed at all, or is that still? Have the companies moved on that?
Well, the detail of the offer that's been put by the Rail Delivery Group, which represents train operating companies, that the deal's been hammered out the offer's been hammered out between the union and the employers. What the government's always just said is that we want to deliver a significant amount of reform. We want a reform railway. One example, we want a railway that works properly 7 days a week. You can't have a railway where on some days it's hugely dependent on people working on their days off voluntarily, because you can't run a dependable service. So we've got to have reform, but the detail of that reform is up to the employers and the trade unions to hammer out in exchange for a pay rise, and that offer is what's now on the table.
And just finally, on the £50 million that's going towards this new rail line behind us right now, it's less than a mile long, and there's already a rail line here, and there's 5 bus routes. You can walk it in about 20 minutes. Some people around here I've spoken to have said, perhaps £50 million could have been spent on other parts of the rail network or other parts of Wales and not the capital.
Well, look, I think one of the things that came through very clearly from the briefing that the Secretary of State for Wales and I had this afternoon from the leader of the council, that was their bid, but what was important about it was opening up Cardiff Bay, which is a really important visitor attraction in Cardiff, to enable thousands of more people to reach it in a low carbon way. But what came through very clearly is that is going to unlock, it's part of unlocking a development of a big area of Wales, which he told us would benefit 3 of the most deprived wards in the whole of Wales, which are here in the Welsh capital city. And I think that's really the fundamentals of this levelling up bid. It's about transport investment, developing growth and spreading opportunity more evenly across the UK, and being able to do it in the capital city of one of the most important parts of the UK, I think is really important, which is why I'm delighted to be here in Cardiff this afternoon.
Yeah, and I understand that, especially about the 3 deprived wards. What would your message be then to, say, the owners of Wrexham Racecourse, who applied to have, funding there, levelling up funding, they didn't get it, and many others who were unsuccessful in getting that funding? What's your message to them, because they don't feel any of that benefit?
Well, look, I think what was good about the bid was that we had a lot more bids than there was money available. There are lots of really good quality bids. What we also announced today was that there's going to be a 3rd round of levelling up fund bidding. So actually what I would say is we'll be giving detailed feedback to those bids that were unsuccessful. So I suppose my message is listen to the feedback, alter the bids, have a go in the third round of a levelling up fund once it's opened, and then hopefully we'll see some more of those really top quality bids get through the third time.